This week on Instagram, we are speaking about a topic that a couple of you wrote in about. So, when we asked you a couple of weeks ago, like what you'd like us to talk about, some of you said things like how to keep growing in relationships or how to have a fulfilling relationship. And someone else wrote like togetherness versus separateness in relationships or something along those lines. And to be honest, like these all go together. So I'm going to try my best to quickly give you some tips on how to grow within relationships by addressing this issue of separateness versus togetherness, right? So what do I mean when I say separateness versus togetherness? I mean, that delicate balance between, sharing your lives together and then being too far apart. And the truth is that this is vital for relationships in order to keep growing, because if you're too much together, like if you're so much together to the point that, you do everything together, you think that you share all the same opinions, kind of there's very little separateness, you lose yourselves within the relationship and you sort of morph into each other, and you stop seeing each other when you're like that. You think you know each other, but you don't fully know each other because you're too confluent. There isn't enough space for you to be able to actually look at each other and be like, oh, okay, so that's you, then that's where you end, and that's how we're different, and this is me, and this is where I end, this is my boundary, and this is how I'm different. And then you can end up with the opposite situation, right? Where the couple is too distant. And then because there's too much distance, it's difficult to see each other as well. There's a lack of safety, a lack of trust, and the relationship has difficulty growing, has difficulty like maintaining itself. And I always remember one of my mentors saying that the beautiful thing about relationships is that it's kind of like a dance, like it's kind of like a movement of togetherness. We move apart, and there's some misunderstanding, some conflict, and then we understand each other again, and that causes the growth. And then there's this movement again where we move apart, we're doing our own thing, whatever, and then we come back together and the growth happens again, and then we move apart. So the movement is actually extremely important in relationships. And even Esther Perel, Esther Perel talks a lot about passion and desire in relationships. And she says, the best space for desire to occur is when you're not too close, but you're not too far, right? Too close is like there's a lot of trust, there's a lot of friendship, there's a lot of safety, but there isn't like sort of that sort of spice, right? There isn't enough variety, there isn't enough surprise, there isn't enough conflict. And then too distant is there's not enough honest communication, there's not enough safety. Maybe there is too much conflict. So it really is about striking that delicate balance. So how can you strike this delicate balance, right? How can you go about it? So I'm going to give you 2 tips. So my first tip is, most importantly, make sure that you are continuously investing in yourself, right? Make sure that you start with you, that you are living a life that is true for you, that excites you, that makes you, that is fulfilling, that you're passionate about, right? Because when you do this, you are taking care of yourself first, and you're also bringing a whole human being to the relationship. You're not bringing you're not going into the relationship sort of asking for somebody else to fulfill you. You're saying, this is me, this is what I love to do, la, la, la. And also because you're continuously investing in yourself and growing, you're bringing someone new continuously, and that's exciting, that's fun for the relationship. So always make sure that you're investing in yourself, that you're asking yourself, what matters to me? What kind of life do I want to create? And then that you honor those answers to those questions, and you go out and you create that life for yourself. My second tip has to do with the togetherness, right? And this is for you to create rituals, to prioritize time together, kind of if, we prioritize meetings, we prioritize going to the gym, we prioritize our kids, basketball or whatever. But we tend to forget about prioritizing time to just go out and have fun with our partners, or, even time to sit down and discuss the stuff that isn't so fun to discuss, but that we need to discuss, like our accounts or certain family issues, So prioritize time together, schedule it in and honor it, because this is what creates the safety, right? So that's what creates the togetherness. And actually, I want to throw in a third tip. My third tip is fun. And that's not so much about togetherness and separateness, but it's vital for relationships anyway. So if you're thinking about how to have a fulfilling relationship or a growthful relationship, fun is a part of that. So make sure that you prioritize having fun together, right? That you it's not always about getting things done. It's not always about improving the relationship or working too hard. It's also just sometimes about goofing off, or just just having a laugh together. Because, laughter is the spice of life, isn't it? Is that the saying? I'm not quite sure. But anyway, guys, if you would like more guidance with this, we are putting out posts this week that's all about it. We're even going to be speaking about how boundaries goes into a fulfilling relationship, and having this separateness and togetherness, this delicate balance. And also, if you feel it's time for you to really delve into this and you want to invest in, sort of growing as a human being and bringing your best self to your relationship, we offer this guidance with lifestyle strategy sessions. So if you would like more information about sessions, just DM me and I will guide you with the sessions.